Alright, hope I don't kill myself for this, but picked this up for $100. It's a homemade gantry crane made out of 3-inch diameter, 1/4-inch wall thickness by 12-foot galvanized pipe. Anyway, I'm not gonna use it to lift much. I'm just gonna replace the motor on my old case, which is really about max 250 pound. That one in there is a 16 horsepower Onan, and I'm gonna put a 22 horsepower Craftsman in there. So I've lifted that before. I just used some ladders. That motor was a rebuilt motor by somebody who didn't know really what they were doing, but not me. And it lasted a few years, but it's just, it still runs. It just struggles. Rings are shot. Got no compression, so I'm just gonna get it price. Walls are all beat up in there. I don't even want to pull it apart. It's a rebuild kit for that Onan is way out of range. I would buy a brand new motor for that, for what they want for a rebuild kit. Anyway, so I got a 22 horsepower Craftsman I'm going to put in there, and I need to lift that motor out. And like I said, when I put that motor in there, I just used two 6-foot ladders with a couple pieces of double unistrut over the top and lifted that out. Anyway, for $100 I got that, and I got the hoist as well, which this thing is way overkill. It's a 1/2 ton, but it's solid steel. I've got one of those smaller Chinese made ones. I've got an older American made one too that belonged to my grandfather and my dad, but I'm not gonna ever use that. It's just thrown there been thrown in my dad's shop for 40 years, 50 years. So anyway, let's get this thing together and see how it turns out. Blasted all the bolts with some silicone lubricant. See if we can't get this assembled. I got 2 legs bolted in. I'll go ahead and lift it up on top of this ladder. See if I can't kill myself. Put the other 2 legs in and push it up. See what happens. If you're wondering why I'm not using that guy, because the bucket only gets up. That's one of the reasons. It kind of bugs me. The bucket only goes up about this high. About the bottom of the bucket's probably about 5 foot tall. Because I could just barely get over the side of my utility trailer with this thing. I wish I could may trade this in and get it a Kubota, but something that'll get about 7 foot high at least. I don't know, 6.5 foot high. We'll see. And 4-wheel drive. All right. I'm using some grade A rigging here. Get this thing up. All right, I got it up. No help Tuesday. So what I did was I dug a 4-foot hole there. 4-foot hole there. Put these poles up. This pole up. That pole I had laying down, and I actually attached the cross member onto it on the ground. And then once I got it tightened up, I turned it so that the cross member was creating a angle like this, a triangle. And then I just slowly walked it up so that it was straight up in the air in the hole. And then I used some 2x4s and 2x6. I jammed them in there alongside to hold it nearly vertical, straight up and down. And then set up my ladder over here, my tall ladder, my other tall ladder. And I walked, basically, I walked it up, straight up. But as I was walking it up, I turned this bar, this horizontal bar, I turned it this way as I walked up. I walked over on this ladder that I had here. And then I was able to just shove it into this first pole, lock it in place, walk down the ladder, raise this pole up, slid it in place, went back up the ladder, locked it in place, measured this distance, about 10 feet on both sides. And that's where I said I want it 12 feet, really. That's where I want it. And then the original owner had chain from here to there to keep it from spreading out there. So I got to get the chain. I mean, when you got weight on there, I think it's safe enough now, but I got to get these. I didn't get these chains from the gentleman's wife who was actually selling the stuff, because he's out. He's done. Poor guy. So she couldn't find the chain. She found the hoist that he had used up in here, and you can see it's had some significant weight on there because there's a little bend on there. I'm not going to do it. I mean, I like this little motor here is not much that I'm going to replace. And then after that's done, I might just use it to lift my camper shell off. And that's about it. That camper shell's like 290, almost 300 pounds. So, yeah, I gotta get this measurement out. I'm gonna cut it along because, like I said, I want this to be, 12. These angles, these two right angles here, to be 90 degrees, 30, 60, 30, 60, 90. So this is 12, that will be 10, and this will be 6 on each side. So total of 12 between the two poles. 10-foot height in the middle. That's the plan anyway. So I gotta measure this chain here and cut it a little bit long, because right now I think I'm only about 10 feet here. All right, it's kind of sketchy trying to do that by yourself, but I just kind of gotta think it through. And like I say, digging these holes, without those holes there, there's no way you'd be able to get it up by yourself, at least unless they had a hoist. And like I say, this thing will lift up, but only about the top of that bucket only gets to about maybe 6 foot tall. I mean, that's one of the bad things about this thing, is that it just doesn't have enough throw on the hydraulic lever there, hydraulic ram. It's just not made to go much higher than the bottom of the dump, 6 foot high. So I don't know. I get this measured up, and I'm not going to get to this motor today. Actually, I got a camping trip coming up. All right.